Welcome back to the channel, RevKev RC. I appreciate everybody coming out and watching me build stuff. I'm trying to do this right. My friend overseas, Mark, he made a comment previously that he'd like to see the actual build process of doing these things. So I'm going to try to do that better, and also have it not take 5 or 6 hours. So I'm going to try to get it all together here and have this thing go from a pile of parts and no electronics to up and running and showing you that it works and demonstrating that this thing is as cool as we all know it is. This is just here because it looked cool and something for you to click on. Yeah, it worked. All right, so I took the wheels and tires off because it makes the whole thing just easier to move around, because that is a good portion of the weight. They're just stacked up over there. And what do I got? So I'm happy to announce that inside the bag with the motor mount and the block off plate, which I already installed, it's just 3 screws that attaches a piece of plastic to where this side is not used over there. Fine, I'll show you. It's right here. See that? There's blocked off right there to keep the debris out from the side you don't use. Right, so simple. And they give you the screws. They give you the screws in the bag for it. So they also give you, these are that one and that one. That is to actually mount the motor plate to the mount up here, right? And then they give you these flatheads to mount the plate to the motor that go down here. They're countersunk. So, and they give you the pinion grub screw. Now, in the EMO XX, the 6th scale, I opted to use the original 17-tooth pinion. But sometimes the ESC fan turns on, and I don't know if that's an ESC thing or a motor thing. Also, that thing is fast as frig. I just don't need a 5th scale to be going that fast, especially one that's dang expensive and pretty. Plus, I never run it on 6S, so I might actually run this on 6S. So I'm going to put a 15-tooth in there. And this one has the D shape to it. So it's going to be on there extra secure and be a real nice fit. And that pinion, the grub screw that they included, should go right in there. Though I already have one, I will check the health of this before I full send it onto the motor. I've got my NSDRC 2500 direct power servo, yeah, up to 4S, and I've got my my little isolators here that allow me to run the servo up to 4S, but run it from my direct power off my battery if I intend to run 6S. I'm probably going to actually install this because I might actually run 6S in this truck since I'm gearing it down. I also have another one here. I might go ahead and mount this in like a use when you need it, use when you don't. Probably same for that. They're just plugs. Because I'm going to try to figure out a way to put a servo winch in here. And I'm going to try to get one that's direct power. Mostly because I don't think I'm going to have enough channels left on my radio. But also, if I can get a 4S capable servo winch, that's all the better, because the spot they leave you up there is, for now, without trying it, I'm going to call it poorly done, but doable. It's only for a 10th scale servo. So a 5th scale truck with a 10th scale servo is going to need something with a lot of cojones. And you just can't get that at a 7.4 volts from anything that I have found or seen. So probably going to end up using both of these in a tentative manner, because that way I'll be able to run the servo direct power off the battery, but tell this thing to only give it the 4S power, because I've already found those servos. I know they exist. So in that endeavor, I'm going to wire in both of these, although I could just split it. I do have splitters. It doesn't matter. These are nice. I'm going to go ahead and use them. They're just parts laying around. So I'll probably just go ahead and do that. But before I can do that, I got to prep the ESC for installation, which means soldering and whatnot. So I'm going to do that too. Are you here? Yeah, we're going to try to do this, legitimately, so you can see kind of the whole process here. And I've got, is that a 3 or a 5? Okay, that's a 5. Sorry, they're in a mixed bag here. Just making sure I have the right end. So we got to take this off. This is a XT60. Yeah. I should just switch all my batteries to this because everything I buy comes with these things. These have the same quality to them that I like about these, with this bottom piece that you can snap over. It allows you to cover up your dirty little secrets of your soldering. Nobody gets to know that you're an amateur. So here's how I do it. Some vice grips, channel locks, vice grips. Locks it in. I use one hand to kind of my wrist to hold it down, and the other hand pulls the wire as I'm heating up that solder. Easy peasy, cools off basically instantly. I'll just flip it right over. It's not so tight that I can't manipulate it up a little bit. These skits are nice and easy. Boop. Put that back in its little home. And this is totally, where is it? Here it is. Don't forget to pull this off and then put the other one on. You'll be mad if you do. I could totally reuse this. I might just start selling these things on Amazon or eBay or something. I'm not an Amazon seller. Okay, so I want to make sure of something real quick before I get into the meat of it. Can I fit 2 of these wires through here? Well, there's one. I wouldn't do this both wires, but all right, I can fit 3 wires through this. That's a nice tight fit, which means I can solder in both of these without having to bore this hole out bigger. Cool. So now what we have is 2 auxiliary wires coming out. We have our DC IC5 plug. I'm going to have to babysit these wires all the way up. Jeez. Whew. Okay. Oh, that one's exposed a little bit. Boo. Man, I really don't want to undo this. I might, though. It's a little tight up in there. Yeah, that one, I need to make these holes bigger. Yeah. Okay, so the fun part is we're going to redo it all again. Because the hole in this cap is just not really big enough for me to easily get all of this in there. But I got plenty of solder, and you can do this over and over unless you burn it. You melt the plastic, but all you need is more connectors. Separate that. Separate that. Come on. You know, I could have just taped it and called it good, but I don't want to pretend like it was right and then tell you that that's how I would have kept it, because I wouldn't. So I'm going to go ahead and ream these holes out a little bit with the Leatherman. So now if you do this, you know. All right. And we know that we have more of this than we need, so we're just going to go ahead and trim off some. Yep. No big deal. I'll bet you if we do this. We could probably get the wires. Yep. Easier to push these bigger gauge wires in there. And then we'll pull these back. All right, cool. Not a huge setback. Mark, you said you wanted to see the mistakes in the hard parts, so this is for you. In fact, you know what? It was all on purpose. There we go. Straighten up you. Soldering screw. You thought you were going to watch a video of me getting the truck going, didn't you? I fooled you. All right, I need to add some more to that. Got a little flat. There we go. Nice bubble for me to press this into with my soldering screw. Ow. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good enough. We're going to rock with that. Well, I am. You do what you want. Boy, if that were, man, that's a good joint if that were just what we were doing. Shoot. Kids are watching, probably, maybe. Demographically, though, we don't get a whole lot of kids watching. I only know of one self-prescribed young person. Prescribed? Described? Whatever. Oh yeah. That's going to be just fine. Now, as long as it'll close back up and we don't have any exposed wires, it looks better to me. Not fighting the cap as much. Oh yeah. You're partner professional. I'll tell you what. Okay. So yeah, we'll figure out how we're going to manage these whenever we actually put it in the truck, and which way, wherefore things get plugged into and all that good stuff. We're not done soldering. We have to solder the motor wires onto the ESC, which is, I might even argue, more scary than anything because it's the ESC. Same concept. We're going to pre-fill in solder into our A, B, and C. Oh, come on. Okay. Well, that's going to be fine. All right. Nice, glossy, chrome looking. Let's give her a little bit more. Oh yeah, that looks right. I really should be running a fan right now. This stuff is toxic. Careful of your ESC power wire. I'm sorry, your fan. You know what I meant. Come on, get off. Okay. These are also pre-tinned. So I should be able to just touch, heat up, look for the shiny dome, and release. Now, again, paying attention to our alphabet. Okay? A to A, B to B, C to C. So because we're sane, rational people, we're going to start with A. It's also over here on the left. You can have these go in like this, or you can do them at an angle. I think the other one I did them at an angle like that. But I bet you I could probably do it even easier like this. Have them arching up. It's not actually down in there. It's on there. It's not down in there. Unhand me. There we go. Part of me wants to do this. Yeah. I think I will do that. That's a much better angle than what I was just doing. I wonder how big these get. If these can hold this without messing it up. I don't care if it chews it up a little bit. I just need you to... Okay, yeah. Just give her a little... If I were extraordinarily worried about it, I would use padding in here, but I'm not. Now I can direct the wire upward where I want it. Okay. That side is in. It's not going to go down any further. No, it's not. So we need to add some solder. Okay. So you know your solder's hotter. Your soldering iron's hotter than it needs to be. You keep making these little spikes. Oh man, that's not in there at all. Oh, sheesh. I think this wire got all frayed out. Okay. The angle was hard. I couldn't see it over here. It wasn't actually set down in the channel. I think I'm going to have to do it this way. So I'll just have to be embarrassed when everybody watches this. But it'll be all right. It's my money, my car. That's sketchy. Oh man, that was a much better angle. That one went on. That went straight on. That needs nothing else. Practice makes not as bad as before. Move that over here. Oh yeah. Third time is the charm. That looks factory. Okay, well the hard part, I guess, is over. Got everything started up. These not show quality, but she'll work. Just double checking. C, is it C? B, is it B? A, is it A? Cool. Turn that toxic waste vapor maker off. And we'll go back over to the bench. All right, over at the bench, I looked at the instructions to remind myself before it gets installed in the truck and has any connection to anything. We're going to do the automatic motor pairing. The instructions say to hold the power button down with the ESC not plugged into the receiver. So it'll look just like nothing's plugged in except for your battery. And then you're going to hold this down, so it'll flash green and then start flashing red after about 8 seconds. And then once you see that, you can let it go and it'll start pairing on its own. This will start spinning. And once it's done, it'll automatically shut off, and then you can just shut everything down and it's done. Let's try it. Three, 4, 5, 6. There it is. Green. Yeah. It's doing stuff. It's automatically pairing, except I had to tell it. Okay, so for reference, hold the button down, flashes red, and in about 8 seconds, it'll flash green, and then you can let it go, and then it'll be done. And I think that's literally all it is. Green. Where's it go? Yeah, it's done. Very easy to do and apparently required. I have a feeling if I plug this in and just never did this, it would be just fine. Okay, so that's done. We're going to unplug this, get you out of here because we don't need it just yet. And what's the next thing? Let me see. All right, that's done. I'm going to go ahead and put some tape on the ESC just so I can get it mounted in the truck. Probably go ahead and add some to that one too. I've chosen to have 2 widths of this, one that's more narrow or one that's wider. I'm just looking to see which one will fit double right there. So it's going to be this one. 3M tape stuff is as close to permanent glue as you're going to get. Oh no, I have this Gorilla tape that is just, it ought to be illegal. It works so dang well. I use it to re-secure some shingles on my roof after a hurricane until I got the roofer to come out and do his thing. I did not alcohol prep any of these because they're brand new out of the box. You know, it's another one of those do as I say, not as I do. I apologize. Should have been using scissors. That's way safer. Imagine if I cut myself on video with you guys all watching. I gotta leave it in there, you know? Learning. Could be kids learning, you know? Gotta show them the consequences of careless behavior. Sharp objects. You can cut yourself with scissors, though. I have cut myself with Leatherman scissors. Trying to cut through something, and I grabbed the meat of my skin. That was a bad time. What happened here? I'm going to just cut you off. You look suspect. Yeah, that'll be all right. Just don't weigh anything. The reason I cut these edges off is because I don't want them collecting dirt, because eventually that dirt makes its way down under the tape and will make it break free. I'm going to put the motor, I think I'm going to put the motor, yeah, it's right there. I've already put my block off plate. I don't have a choice. Ooh, how do I want to orient it? My battery is facing that way, so it's giving me the most cable, which I don't actually need the most cable, but you never know. So we'll go ahead and do that. I'll put it semi-forward, you know, for weight bias. This doesn't have a plug that I have to access. It is Bluetooth. So programming it will be Bluetooth, which is super cool. Motor will go right up in here. Yeah, you guys can see that, kind of. Yeah. Okay. Apologies for the shaky cam. Blair Witch references. Okay. That's nice and solid. Where should I put this? There's not a whole lot of room here. I might just go ahead and stick it right here on the corner, because I think I can work my finger in here and turn it on and off. And that'll get it. It's still covered. Won't be able to see it. The body will be right here, but I can still probably hook my finger in there. So I think I'm going to do that. If I discover that that's not going to work, I'll just take it off and do it again. But I think that's going to be all right. Yeah, that's got a nice little spot to chill. It's got plenty of reach. We're going to go underneath it and around. Like that. So now comes the part where we got to decide. The truck interior sits right here. So I would be smart to not have this sticking up. Though I think it would be okay. It is more ideal to have it maybe even like this, to where the wires are running underneath it. I think that looks pretty clean. So I'm going to find an orientation on here and here that makes that happen. But I'm not going to have you watch me do it, because it's going to take me a minute. But just know that that's what I'm going to do. Clocking these holes around with these holes to find the orientation to get me that end result. Cool? Cool. Okay, see you in a few. Okay, it wasn't as hard as I thought it was. Simply lining these up by hand and just kind of looking at it through here like that. So looks like I'm going to be able to have it just like this. There's two sets of holes in there. I don't know which ones I need to line up just yet with the pinion I've chosen. I'm going to make a guess. What I'm going to do, looking at this, right? I don't want to choose that hole and that hole if I can. I want to choose that one and the opposite one over there. Same over here if I can. So that's how I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to go ahead and put the bottom screw in. I'm using red Loctite, also red Loctite in here. Just out of frame right there, but it's just like gel style. It's like a little, whoop. Comes out with a twister, kind of like chapstick. So I'm going to try to do it this way. Bottom hole nearest the edge. Because this thing is so big, my full-size tools fit in there, which I dig. That's tight enough just to let it sit there. Keep its little position. Second screw. Gonna go top left since I went bottom right. The reason I'm doing it that way is because then the holes, the line that bisects the holes, great, messed it up. Magnets to the rescue. Yeah, if you don't have a good magnet in your shop, you are working harder than you need to. All right, let me shut up and just do it. Okay. Okay, so I got freedom of movement. But what I was saying is we want the, not the diameter, that's the circle. That's circumference, diameter. I don't know, the thing that goes across. Math, it's not my subject. We want that to split the middle of the motor if possible, and it looks like it's going to be possible. All right, so before we're going to check the health of this screw. Got a little wobble to it, and they gave us one, so let's go ahead and swap it out. Those are the same. Yeah, that's a much healthier feeling grub screw, brand new. Again, red Loctite. Give me a little more. Oh, calm down. I'm excited too. I mentioned it before. Motors come with a D-shaped cut in the shaft. So it's a circle with a cut off to the side. And then if you can find these that have a D shape, they're keyed. So you can only put it on one way, and it helps with the integrity of how this thing is. Oh, and it's already facing the right way, coincidentally. These are Mod 1 gears also, by the way. Get on there. I think I got it too tight. The grub screw. I put it in too far. That's what I get for using a used gear. Come on. Slip in there. I'm just using this hole as leverage to line up the two faces of the spur and pinion so that my mesh is right. At least I don't need that flashlight again. The height is what I'm saying. Spin that around and get my grub screw back where I can reach it. All right. Yeah, click. That is good and tight. I will show this to you here in a second. I've got the motor is loose, and it looks like this orientation hole wise that I've chosen is going to be just fine for me to get my mesh. Grab the appropriate driver. 2.5. All right, 2 rather. Yeah, nope, 2.5. Cross will tell you to put paper in here to determine the mesh. I just use my eyeballs and I look to see how much movement there is. Because I've just been doing it forever, but I'm going to show you. That's too tight. All right, so I got it tight enough to where, and that's too loose. So now you can you can hear it. I'm just going to give her a couple of, see that it's closing down. A little bit more. So I've just given these screws enough tension to allow me to do this little tap and check. A little bit more. That is, I'm going to call it good. Add some tension to that one. A little bit, nothing crazy. Add some tension to that one to make sure that it can't just, you hear the wiggle? That's what we want to hear. So confirm that that is right. Get my tool in there. Give her some decent torque. This is what I meant when I said, yep, nothing changed. That these bigger ones are easier to work on. Click. And for good measure. Yep. Okay. Sweet. Whew. The hard part mechanically is over. Steering servo is easy. We're talking 5 screws and a plug. Steering servo will be in. I'm going to move the truck so you can see what we did, what it should look like. Again, that was the 15-tooth pinion. Well, there, that's nice. And get this camera to stop being twisted. All right, cool. So you can see we got our screw down here for the motor mount, and there's one up here that's just out of view. But what I look for is that jiggle. You need some black backlash. That is what I look for. We want this relationship to be as close as possible without binding. You might be able to get away with a little bit tighter, but I think that's going to be good. So that's how I do it, and it's worked for me. I've never stripped out spurs or pinions. My wire management is kind of built in because I have it looped over. It's underneath. Let me pull you back out. I'm over here talking and you can't see. Wire management is kind of built in down here. It's lower than this platform piece, so the body should go on just fine without issue. If I need to add fans, I can clip them onto the side here, and that's all nice and open. And not that you would get a lot of debris in here, but the fan blades being sideways, nothing will fall in them and then get stuck or mess up the fans. They'll be just blowing that way. I don't think I'm going to need fans, but we'll see. So this is the original cover. Get that out of the way. Right here. Just going to go ahead and put those back in because we're done. Demo is over for that. These don't really hold much, so hand tightening with the ball wrench is perfectly good. And also, you don't grease this. It's just going to sling off anyway. I greased the EMO XX and the grease slung off immediately. Part of the upside to a nylon gear is you don't have to lube it. It is more quiet and it's lighter. So because that is a much bigger gear, the spur gear, the weight that it carries, it matters. So anyway, that's it for motor and ESC. Those bad boys are installed. You can see that it was very easy. If you buy a combo that's already soldered, you don't have to do this. Already has the plug that you like, or you have a buddy who can solder. This whole thing here could just be easy. Oh, let me put this back in before I forget it. The cover for the grub screw access. All right. Not much left yet. All right, well, here goes nothing, maybe. So, I've taken the screws out. There is our receiver cover. Again, like the Traxxas one. It's got the foam, it's got the foam, it's got the foam. No grease, you gotta do it yourself. I got the servo out and plugged into the ESC. The ESC power side on one of my leads. And here is the part that goes to the receiver. ESC wires. There you go. Here you are. Right here. I'm going to use, I forget which one's which. I'm not going to use one of these because I know I'm not going to have enough channels to do everything I want. One of them will do drag brake rate on the fly. I don't need that. I need drag brake hold adjustment on the fly. That is more useful. And that one thing kind of takes the place of both because I need to free up a channel that one of these will take. So, got my 10 channel Dumbo here. And signal is that one. They have jokes because the wires are not different colors. So you just have to know. It's ground goes on the outside, so that is ground. Okay, in order to make sense of it, I had to mount the receiver in the receiver box so I could actually see everything in its place and not floating around in the air. Ugh, I need batteries for that. I have not even tried to turn it on. We're going to bind it right now. And yeah, so everything is labeled. It is just as silly as I thought. You either need the two male double-ended servo leads, or you need Y splitters that are, I guess that's one female end and two male ends. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's genuinely annoying. But I think this is It's like what, 55 degrees. This remote doesn't like to turn on if it's even remotely cool outside. So let me let that warm up a little bit. I chose to run the double-ended ones out of the receiver box to get as much, to make this as little as possible, because no way all this is going to fit in here. So I'm going to get as much in there as I can and then zip tie everything up into this bundle right here in a nice bird's nest, rat's nest problem. I did want to point out something that is annoying, and I just don't understand it. The battery strap they give you is not long enough. It's not even the same. It's not the same one that comes in the EMO XX. It's just some little anemic BS thing. I don't know why they did this. The one that came in the EMO XX runs this battery. This is the exact battery I run. It's the same battery tray. All this is the same. I don't know why they did this. They gave us this little tiny thing. I have this Apex one. When I ordered these, they were too long, so this is likely going to be too long, but I might be able to make it work. I'm gonna try. And just wrap it around the widest part of this carbon fiber tray, and see if it'll work. If not, I'll be figuring out what length I do need and then ordering it. Okay, the remote has been sufficiently heated up. So our servo is connected. ESC is connected. Nothing left to do but bind it. Let's find out. Let's find out. The bind button's on the right. If this is like the other one that I just did the other day, I think you turn it on. Oh, probably need to plug it in. That's usually a requirement. Hopefully I don't get a puff of smoke. Press the button, look for the rapid flash. Oh crap. No! It bound to the other one. I forgot to change to a new model. Now it's on the other one. Shoot. It's all right. I'll just rebind the other one. I didn't change anything in it, so. It bound from much further away than normal. I thought I could go in here and change the model real quick. I was wrong. Okay, so now it's bound to a new model. Servo works. It's a good sign. Can you see that? The light board light is solid. If there was a problem connecting, it would be blinking. That's a good sign. We have life. And it's going the correct direction. Front diff. Rear diff. 2-speed. Okay. It works. All right, let me plug the body in and see if we got light functions. I got tail lights in the back. Oh, fog lights. Hello. We got hazards. Yeah. Sweet fog lights. Yeah. Where is it? There it is. Well, that's warm too. So all the fog, man, that really is warm. All right, yeah. Let me plug the body in, all precarious like, and see if we can drop it and break it before we ever get to play with it. Okay. All right, I know what's happening. I need to set some things up. Just real briefly, we'll just jump straight to it. I've shown this a number of times. We need to change 8 to locking. So now the lights will go through their one at a time normal cycle. What are the rears doing? Okay. Rear's doing a light show. Our front fog lights are solid, staying on. Yeah, rear's dancing between white, brake, and amber. Turn signals, hazards. Police lights, the rears are not doing anything. Just the normal red. Okay, that would be our standard running mode. There is no off. Yeah. Okay, so you don't get fog lights till you get light bar. Let's go back. Low beams, high beams, light bar, fog lights, grill, strobes, emergency lights, light show, the back's doing it, fog lights are staying solid, hazards, working in the rear and the front, fogs are off, and now we have some nifty variation of the front. It's police lights, but it's different than the other one. So we have an additional mode and back to off. All right, we're gonna have turn signals. Their steering is backwards because I'm turning left and we're getting the right. So we can go in here real quick. Right turn signal, right turn. Pretty sweet. Get all these things zip tied because it's basically done. I'm gonna throw a rock light switch on the outside of the receiver on channel 9. So they'll be waiting for me to plug them in. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Okay, I got it all together. I did not show you the steering servo because I've showed you that before. It is just 4 screws up front. The servo spline will go on the driver's side and then 1 screw on the bottom. They did not include that screw that I could find in the kit, so I just sourced one myself. It's just a 2mm, no big deal. I ran the apex straps north-south, and that actually gave me something pretty usable. I don't love it. I'd rather a left-right, but it does work. I got 2 of them in there, and we're going to run that until I decide I hate it. Wire management wise, I just got the servo wire, the 2 running along here with the light wires that are already existing. Zip tie, and then that's zip tied to the power cord for the ESC. So all that's nice and secure. That's left there unbothered for later. This down here, the rat nest of connectors and 3-ways and all that garbage is just right there. I can still push it out of the way and get to the receiver if I need to. There is my switch for rock lights that are not installed yet. I am unsure what I want to do with that, so it is what it is. I went ahead and put the tires on, centered the servo, set my endpoints. I've showed you that multiple times before, so I'm not going to bother with it now. I also went ahead and programmed in my neutral. It's in neutral right now because the truck is on. And that was, funny enough, the same as the other versions. Let's see. negative 40 on channel 7 is what got me the neutral. So pretty sweet. Cross RC really just, they take something and then they make it bigger. And that's what you get. So I'm going to put this body on so we can have a look at it in its full form. Okay. The body cam locks are tight. I need to break them in. They gave me a run for my money. And also this thing is just so, it's just so big that it's just hard to work and move around. But there it is. This servo is just crazy good, right? It's in neutral. You can see we've got reverse lights back there on the wall. Our turn signals. What else? We've got the lights. Hazards. Standard hazards. That's cool. And then this, whatever that is, it's different. It's like an alternating thing. Because the other one was like, oh, okay, so we get police lights without all the other blinding lights. That's cool. Very cool. We get daytime running lights with police lights in the front. Neat. All right, well, let's take it off the bench and have a look at it in the street. Well, there it is in all its glory. I think first and second are switched. Okay, that makes more sense. Let me go ahead and reverse the channel. Channel 7, I need to reverse the channel. I like my first gear to be all the way left, second gear to be all the way right. Easy fix on the old Dumbo. Yeah. This thing is enormous. All right, We got 4S. Let's see what first gear feels like. We'll speed test it another time because this video is already too long. First gear, 4S, 15 tooth pinion. I turned the headlights on. Got that cool third brake light. Nice low beams. This thing looks real. Yeah, I readjusted my steering trim. That was the right call. I need to program the ESC with the Bluetooth link, but the camera has been recording this whole time, so I haven't. Man, look at it. This thing is huge. Holy cow. It's so big. Oh, man. All right, let's do a little second gear. Yeah, see, I mean, for a rig that big, that is plenty fast, and that's 4S. I could throw 6S in here, so we can pretty much know that it's not faster than the Unimog because I didn't gear it that way. Same system. Look at that. It's got a really cool body sway. Very scale. Crawls really slow, like it ought to. Strobe show. Let's have a look at the back. All right, so tail lights are doing their thing, and the third brake light is also getting after it. Regular hazard mode. The ones in the front be doing the same thing. Yep. And then we have police, emergency, without all the rest of the lights. Yeah, this thing's cool. I need to put them rock lights in it ASAP. Yeah, this thing's cool. Oh. Oh yeah, we need some dirt. can almost, yeah, you can look in the interior with the roof light. I'll turn the drag brake up. Yeah, I need to program the drag brake. It's not high enough. It's just not doing any good. All right. I don't know if it gets any cooler than this in the RC scale big crawler world. Probably not. But man, it's cold out here. I appreciate everybody watching this long. I'm going to cut out a bunch of the fluff and leave in the stuff that really matters. And yeah, Mark, this is for you. I hope you appreciate it. And everybody else, this is for you too. Mark knows what I'm saying. Yeah, leave me a like, comment. I really, really like the comments. Obviously, I like the like and the subscribe and all that stuff, but I like it when you guys interact on the channel. I want to know what you think about the RC, about perhaps my style, presentation, and all that. And yeah, this thing's super, super cool. I'll see y'all later. Peace.